All right, now let's continue and we're going to start learning some very basic foundation for our Lightning Web Component development. So go ahead to your playground and go to your hands-on orgs here on your trailhead by clicking here, and then hands-on orgs, and launch your playground. This is the continuation from the previous video, so please watch the previous one so you will know what we're talking about here. So we're continuing. I'm going to go to setup here and go to the setup page on my playground, and I'm going to go to sites and prepare the site that we have set up previously. So I'm going to copy this, or even I'm just going to launch. Yeah, I'm just going to copy this for now. I'm going to copy this domain and pop this up on a new tab there. So this is our code so far, right? So follow along. I'm going to open my developer console over here. Okay, so this is our code so far. But as you can see, the result here, we have a header and this whole Salesforce template, which we don't want to use. So first of all, I want to take that out. Okay, I'm going to say sidebar no, false, show header no, I don't want show header, and then lightning style sheets false, also standard style sheets false. Okay, so sidebar false, show header false, lightning style sheets false, and standard style sheets false. I'm going to save that, Command S or Control S if you're on Windows, and let's switch this over and refresh. Bada bing, bada boom. So this is more cleaner because we're going to play with JavaScript. So when we open the code and view the source, I don't want any insertion from Salesforce. But there is still one thing. And if you right click on your browser here, please use Google Chrome. So if you're not using Google Chrome, please download Google Chrome because we are going to work together with Google Chrome. All right. So I'm going to right click and view source. Just want to give you a quick view. You see, this is still inserted by Salesforce. This is not our code here, right? But we cannot get rid of these lines. That's fine. We can still continue learning because if I close this tab for now, right? We don't see that in our code. See, we don't see that, right? But it's being inserted by Salesforce. So that's fine. Don't be concerned about that. So let's move on. Moving on, I want us to use Google Chrome Developer Console. So if you right click over here on your Chrome and then inspect over here at the bottom, inspect, it's going to open that. And then you would want to go to console here. Okay, go to console because we are going to play with JavaScript to learn how the foundation of Lightning Web Component on the JavaScript side. We're going to play around with JavaScript. And I want you to change the filter here, or not the filter, this one, custom levels. So it's not the default one. The default one is like that, but it will have this warning, right? Which is no big deal, but it's just in the way and it's just annoying. So click here, default levels, and take out the warnings. Okay, take out the warnings. We don't want the warnings. So take out the warnings. Boom. So that's fine. That's blank right now because the JavaScript is not producing anything yet. Okay. So to try out if we are ready to go, if I go back to my developer console over here, Alright, so let's start by opening up with the script tag. So we are going to practice and learn JavaScript. Therefore, we are going to open up with the script tag. So you open script and close it, script. Okay. So this defines whatever code we put between this will be JavaScript. Okay. And this is a Visual Force page, and we can play around with JavaScript here. So the first thing I want to show you is the console.log function, where we will be playing a lot with. Okay, so if I do console.log and I put anything like a text here, like bada bing, bada boom, this will print it onto our browser console log. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to flip to the other one. I'm going to refresh this. It's saying bada bing, bada boom. Pretty easy, right? Okay, so that's how we can play with the console log. Moving on, we are going to talk about variable in this video. So how can you declare a variable in JavaScript? Before we even do that, what on earth is a variable? Well, you should know by now. If you've watched any of my videos previously, I've thought about how to develop with Apex. So we've talked quite a lot about variables there. So same thing, variable is a container, a bucket or a container, which you can store values in it. So you can declare a variable several ways in JavaScript. Okay, you can do var, you can do let, you can do const, and in this particular video, I am going to talk about var. So when you declare a variable this way, you declare it deciding what name you want to use, like for example, movie title, and set the value. The Simpson, like that. Okay, that's as easy as it can get. Okay, declare a variable with the var keyword. What is the variable name or the bucket or the container, and what's the value inside this bucket or inside this container? Is the Simpson. Now, if I console.log movie title, it will print the Simpson, like that. So I'm going to save that, flip back to our Salesforce sites page, refresh, and it says the Simpson, like that. Easy peasy, right? Okay, so that's how you declare a variable. So that's it. No, we have a few more to talk about. Okay, so let's talk about scope, like the context, how this variable can be accessed. Okay, so when you declare a variable, it becomes accessible globally. You can declare it outside of a function block or inside of a function block. So Jimmy, what on earth is a function? Well, let's make one. Okay, for example, we want to make a function called walk the dog. Do you have a dog? I have one, so that's why I'm going to make a function walk the dog. And this is how you declare a function, the syntax, how you write it in JavaScript. So inside this function block, you can write any chunk of code. So I'm going to get out of JavaScript and into the real world. I'm just going to type, okay? This is not JavaScript. I repeat, this is not JavaScript. I'm just going to type function walk the dog. First, leash the dog, leash the dog. So you can actually walk the dog, and then go out from the house. Actually get out, don't walk it inside the house, and walk the dog. And then for how many long? For example 30 minutes will do. Okay, and then some restriction, don't go to the dog park. Okay, my syntax is becoming weird now. Let's just do that. And then we're gonna say go back home. Okay, what else? Unleash the dog, right? Makes sense. And then feed the dog, please. Okay, so there is a function called walk the dog. Okay, and it accepts a parameter, anything you can declare. For example, this is just an example, person. Okay, so you can pass the variable here, or the parameter, and by calling the function, for example, walk the dog, and you can say Jimmy, for example, like so. And it will, again, this is not JavaScript, I just want to make sense so you can know what the heck is a function. Okay, so you pass Jimmy, and then Jimmy will do all these things. That's how a function works. Okay, so you call walk the dog function. Who's gonna be walking the dog? Jimmy is. So Jimmy will be doing all these things. Okay, now let's get back to JavaScript. So now if I declare a variable inside the function movie title, okay, The Simpsons, okay, this variable, because it is declared inside a function, will not be accessible outside it. So if you declare a variable inside the function, it will not be accessible outside it. If I here say console.log movie title, it will throw an error because it doesn't know about this. It doesn't know. It's a secret. Only the function knows. Okay, so if you do that, let's just go ahead and do that, and I'm going to run that code by refreshing this. Boom, uncaught reference error. Movie title is not defined. We haven't defined it. Line 14 there. Okay, so that's because we've decided to declare it inside the function. So whenever you declare a variable inside the function, it will not be accessible outside the function block. Okay, get that? So second, if you declare it outside here, var movie title, The Simpsons, and then you declare it inside the function again, and you access it outside the function, right? This will, well, the Simpson global, maybe. Okay, so we know this is the Simpson function. Okay, so if I save this, console.log will do what? Will have the Simpson global because it was declared over here. Okay, so if I flip back to here and refresh, boom, the Simpson global is printed because it has been declared outside of the function, which is now accessible globally, even inside the function. So for example, I'm going to take this out, right? And I'm going to put this inside the function, right? And then I'm going to run the function, not walk the dog, maybe print the title. Okay, print the title, and then we're going to say print the title, like that. Okay, so this function will run. It will print the console to console the movie title. Will it print the Simpson global? It will, because it's declared outside the function. Therefore, it is accessible globally anywhere in your script. Okay, so that, flip back here. I'm going to refresh. Now it has the Simpson global. It's accessible globally because it's declared here. Now, what else? A variable can also be redeclared. Okay, we're going to talk about constant later. Constant cannot be redeclared, but a variable like that can be redeclared. So if I do var movie title, right, and then I'm going to do console.log movie title, and then I'm going to redeclare it. Okay, I'm going to redeclare it here. So the Simpson global, the Simpson season 23. If I do another one here, same variable name, movie title, but now this has been redeclared. Okay, so now if we refresh this, we have the Simpson global, the Simpson season 23, both showing different values because it has been redeclared on here. Okay, now let's pause for a second. Please follow along the coding as you watch this video, so you get the hang of it. You can't just watch it and just hope that you grasp what you are seeing. It's not gonna happen. You have to type stuff and code stuff. All right, moving along. I also want to show you that the var declaration, when you declare a var declaration inside a code block but not in a function, right, it's also accessible anywhere. It's still going to be accessible. It's like declaring it globally. It will not contain it within the block. So you can do a for loop, or you can do an if statement, or a while statement, whatever you want to do inside a code block. For example, if I do if 1 equals 1, which is true, which is always true, 1 equals 1, right? So this code of block will run, right? And if I declare this var movie title equals The Simpsons, and I console.log it here, movie title, that will work because this is not a function. This is just a piece of block of code. This will declare it and it will be accessible globally. So if I save that and flip back here, will it print The Simpson? It will. Boom. The Simpson, right? Why? Because when you declare it inside any block of code but not a function, it will still be accessible globally. Got that? And remember that you can only contain the var and hide it from the rest of the world if it's within a function, like I showed you before, function blah, right? Whatever. And if you declare it inside function blah movie title, I'm just repeating myself here so you get the hang of it. Okay, equals The Godfather. You know, Al Pacino. You like Al Pacino? I like Al Pacino. You know, and then Godfather, right? I'm going to save this. And then will this print out The Godfather? No, because it's inside the function. This is hidden. The global scope doesn't know about movie title. It's inside the function. Boom, error, right? Because it's inside the function. We don't even know about that. You hide it inside this blanket of function, blah. Okay, so get the hang of it. Also, I want to talk about the window object. So in JavaScript, everything is a window. Everything is tied to the window object. What on earth is a window? This is a window here. This whole browser is a browser window, right? So we are playing with the browser window object. Okay, so if I declare a variable, for example here, again, movie title, The Simpsons, and then we're gonna go console.log window.movie title. It will work because everything is automatically binded into the window object as a property of the window object. When you declare a variable, it became accessible through the window object. Let's prove it. Prove it, Jimmy. Boom. See? The Simpsons. We're consoling the window.movie title, but it's printing out still the variable. So let's see what do we have in the window object. What kind of properties that his have? It has a bunch of properties. So if I flip back, refresh the window, there you have it. Window. If you click the arrow there, that little arrow, triangle, gray, click, boom. Look at that. So this is all the properties that you can access, including the movie title. You can see it here. Where? Oh, I closed. I didn't do. Oh yeah, movie title, right? Oops. What? Oh, this is my other window. So movie title. Here, The Simpsons is right before my very eyes. I didn't see it, guys. So movie title, The Simpsons is also declared as a property of the window object there. So you have a whole bunch of properties, right? We get to play with this, right? You can alert. What is an alert? This is also cool. So if I do an alert, for example, it's going to pop up thing, okay? So instead of console, we're also going to do alert, right? Window.movie title, or we can just do alert movie title. It's the same thing. So if I refresh, it's going to pop up. The Simpsons is alerting us. Cool, right? So you can access various browser window properties. Look at that. Well, you can do a whole bunch of stuff, right? Look at that. All available things to play with. Lego pieces there. This is all the Lego pieces you get to play. Woohoo! Look at that. Anyways, you got a lot of Lego pieces to play with the window object. It's fun if you like to play Lego. Oh, I closed it. Oh my lord, I shouldn't close that. We're playing with that. Oops, my apologies. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a technical difficulties here. I'm going to open that. Okay, The Simpsons. Inspect again. And console, boom, there we go. Okay, window. Okay, I think I'm done explaining the variable, how it can be accessed and how you can declare it. So 3 things. Let's recap everything, okay? If you declare a variable like so, it will be accessible globally. The scope will be global. If you declare a variable within the function, blah, remember? And you declare it here, movie title, The Simpsons. This will not be available outside of the function. You can only play with this Lego piece with this variable within the function. You can write a bunch of code here within the function, and you can access that. But nowhere outside this function will movie title variable be known. Got that? So third one, if you put it inside a block any kind of block, if 1 equals 1, this will still be accessible globally, right? Any kind of block, while loop, for loop, any kind, but outside the function, that will also be still be available globally, anywhere. So, and then it's also binding everything to the window properties, which you see there's a lot of properties you can play with. That's basically it. That's pretty simple to understand, right? So that's for the variable declaration in JavaScript. And moving on, we are going to show you and learn together what about the let and the const declaration in JavaScript. That will be in the next video. Bada bing, bada boom. Hit that subscribe button and explore new trailhead grounds and learn to implement the most useful and popular apps on the Salesforce App Exchange. And do yourself a favor, like this video, and you'll be surprised on how much more you understand when watching this same video after liking it. Don't take my word. Watch this one more time after you like the video and see it for yourself. Bada bing, bada boom.